If you're wondering which drones for travel are worth your money, stick around. After we run through each product, I'll give you my personal take. Would I buy it or would I skip it? No fluff, just my honest opinion. Let's get into it. DJI Air 3S. The Air 3S flies like a dream with its fancy obstacle avoidance and killer battery life, meaning more glorious footage and less oh crap tree moments. But swapping those damn neutral density filters just to shoot decent video in daylight feels like performing tiny fiddly surgery mid-hike, which kinda sucks. Would I buy it? Yes, it's a fantastic all-rounder for serious travel content, despite the minor filter hassle. DJI Mavic 2 Pro. This old dog, the Mavic 2 Pro, still packs a serious punch with its huge 1-inch sensor camera, spitting out gorgeous 4K video that puts newer drones to shame. Though it's stuck shooting landscape only, so tough luck, vertical video fans, and good luck not wanting to chuck the controller out the window during that incessantly clicking hyperlapse mode. Would I buy it? Maybe. If image quality is your absolute priority in a compact-ish drone, and you don't mind its age or landscape lock, it's still a beast. DJI Neo. The DJI Neo is ridiculously cheap and small, perfect for yeeting into your bag for casual travel snaps, and surprisingly stable even when the wind tries to bully it. But try shooting in low light and it basically gives up, landing itself like a tired toddler. And the video quality takes a nosedive if you dare point it towards the sun. Would I buy it? No. It's fun for the price, but the limitations, especially low light performance and range, make it frustrating for serious travel use. DJI Mini 4 Pro. DJI's Mini 4 Pro is a tiny travel ninja, weighing less than your average burrito to dodge annoying regulations, yet packing a stunning camera that laughs in the face of low light. It's pricey for something so small, kinda like gourmet coffee. And while its tracking is smart enough to follow you through a forest, don't expect it to handle gale force winds like a brick shithouse. Would I buy it? Yes. The combination of portability, regulatory ease, and top-tier camera features makes it arguably the best all-around travel drone right now. Hover Air X1. The Hover Air X1 is like a pocket-sized paparazzi bot. You whip it out, toss it up, and bam, instant tracking shots for your travel selfies without needing any skill whatsoever. Just don't expect it to keep up if you're doing anything faster than a brisk walk. Its manual controls are laughably slow, and the video is more good enough for Instagram than epic cinematic masterpiece. Would I buy it? Maybe. For absolute simplicity, portability, and quick automated shots where quality isn't paramount, it's unique and fun, but far too limited for versatile travel filming. DJI Mavic 3 Pro. This beast packs 3 cameras, giving you insane flexibility for shots, looking kinda like Darth Vader's helmet, and eats low light for breakfast. It flies for ages and scoffs at decent wind, but holy crap is it expensive. And it's got the C2 classification in Europe, which might mean extra hoops to jump through. Would I buy it? Maybe if my YouTube channel suddenly blew up and I needed pro-level shots without selling a kidney for Inspire. DJI Mini 3 Pro. Weighing less than 249 grams means fewer rules and headaches when traveling. Plus, it's super quiet, so you won't annoy everyone trying to enjoy their sunrise coffee. Be warned though, it gets tossed around in strong winds like a paper airplane. And sometimes the footage gets a bit wobbly like my uncle after Christmas dinner. Would I buy it? Yes. It's probably the best tiny travel drone overall, just don't take it hurricane chasing, and don't lose that special tiny screwdriver. Autel Robotics Evo Nano. Plus, this little orange, or gray, or white, or red contender is also under 249 grams and has a surprisingly great camera, especially when the lights go down. Problem is, the build feels a bit flimsy. Its obstacle avoidance sometimes sees ghosts in direct sunlight, and one review unit literally decided to unalive itself mid-flight, which isn't exactly confidence-inspiring. Would I buy it? Maybe if I really wanted to avoid DJI and enjoyed living life on the edge. Wondering if today's flight is its last. DJI Mini 4 8K. Here's your entry ticket to 4K drone footage without needing to remortgage your house. And it's light enough to avoid most registration drama. But it's basic AF, forget fancy tracking modes or amazing low-light video, and DJI made sure your old Mini 2 filters won't fit, because of course they did. Would I buy it? Yes, if I was on a super tight budget, but absolutely needed that 4K resolution for my travel clips and didn't mind the missing bells and whistles. DJI Avata 2. Flying this thing with goggles on is a wild, immersive ride, giving unique travel perspectives, and thankfully it's way less noisy than the first Avata. However, the battery life is still pretty meh compared to a Mavic. It can get wobbly in wind, and if you're in Europe, enjoy the nerfed signal range courtesy of DJI's geofencing shenanigans. Would I buy it? Yes, purely for the fun factor, and those dynamic FPV shots you just can't get otherwise. Just pack loads of batteries and maybe avoid flying near large bodies of water. Autel Robotics Evo Lite. Plus, this thing feels solid, like it could survive a tumble down a small hill, which is handy because, let's face it, travel happens. The 1-inch sensor snaps some sweet pics and lasts a decent while in the air, long enough to annoy at least one tourist. But damn, that controller loves to press my phone's buttons. The obstacle avoidance is kinda blind sideways, and shooting log video is weirdly restricted. Plus, the remote beeps like a smoke detector having a panic attack whenever it sees anything. Also, it's a bit of a chunker at 835 grams, so pack light elsewhere. Would I buy it? Maybe. If I mainly cared about photos and a tank-like build, and maybe bought some earplugs for the controller, DJI Inspire 3. Okay, this beast shoots in glorious 8K and flies like a dream, with obstacle avoidance so good it could probably dodge my landlord. It's built for serious Hollywood-style shots, transforming mid-air like some kind of expensive Decepticon, but holy hell is it big and heavy, nearly 4 kilos. Forget fitting this in your carry-on, unless your carry-on is a wheelbarrow. Plus, the battery life felt like it lasted about as long as my last relationship, around 18 minutes, and it costs more than my car. Would I buy it? No. Not unless I suddenly become Christopher Nolan and have a dedicated drone Sherpa following me on vacation. Potensic Atom. This little guy is under 249 grams, so you can basically sneak it anywhere, and it folds up smaller than my wallet after rent week. It shoots 4K, tracks subjects surprisingly well for how cheap it is, and actually lasts about 25 minutes before needing a juice break. But it has 0 collision avoidance, so if you fly it into a tree, that's on you, buddy. Don't come crying to me. Also, the camera focus is fixed, meaning stuff far away might look a bit soft, like my motivation on a Monday morning. Would I buy it? Yes. For a budget travel drone you won't cry too hard about if it gets confiscated or eaten by a seagull, it's a cracking deal. DJI Mini 3. Another sub 249 gram wonder. This thing is basically invisible to regulators and fits anywhere. The real kicker, battery life is insane. We're talking up to 51 minutes with the big battery. That's long enough to film an entire season of a bad reality show. It's super stable and easy to fly, even if you're usually coordinating like a drunk giraffe, but it doesn't have the fancy obstacle avoidance sensors like its pro sibling, so keep your eyes peeled. The camera is good, but obviously not Mavic level good. Would I buy it? Yes, for pure travel convenience, portability, and ridiculously long flight times without breaking the bank or needing a pilot's license, this is hard to beat. DJI Mavic 3. Classic, this drone packs DJI's gorgeous Hasselblad 4/3 sensor, meaning your travel photos and videos will look chef's kiss amazing, way better than that Potensic or Mini. It's got obstacle avoidance coming out the wazoo, handles wind like a champ, and has decent battery life on paper. It's still a bit of a chonker at nearly 900 grams, definitely not throw it in your pocket territory like the Mini 3, and it costs a pretty penny. Plus, they yanked the telephoto lens from the fancier Mavic 3. The cheapskates. Would I buy it? Maybe. If I was serious about getting pro-level travel footage and didn't mind lugging around almost a kilo of drone and paying for the privilege. Potensic Atom SE. This little guy is insanely light, under 250 grams, so you can basically stuff it in your pocket and avoid annoying registration rules in most places. Plus, it fights off wind surprisingly well for a featherweight. But man, the lack of a proper gimbal means your epic travel footage might look more like a Blair Witch Project sequel, thanks to its electronic stabilization and good luck testing that supposed 4-kilometer range. Some folks barely get it past shouting distance. Would I buy it? Maybe if my travel mostly involved checking on farm animals from the air on a tight budget, or I needed something disposable for risky shots. DJI Flip. Okay, this DJI Flip comes wrapped in its own little safety cage with those foldable propeller guards, making it way less likely to decapitate your travel buddy. And it still folds up nice and small under that magic 249 gram limit with a seriously good 4K camera. Don't get too cocky though, because while it's safer than an open blade monster, it only has forward-facing obstacle avoidance, meaning it can still totally smack into things from the side or behind, and it gets pushed around a bit more in the wind compared to heavier drones. Would I buy it? Yes, especially for trips where I'm filming near people indoors, or just want something super easy and safe to launch quickly without much fuss. Thanks for watching. I hope this video helped you pick the drones for travel for you. If you have any questions, drop a comment below. Links to all of these products mentioned in this video will be in the description.